Hi everyone, welcome to my channel once more. So the day is upon us, the day where we're going to have our last two match days for the World Cup qualifiers for the CONMEBOL South American region. These are going to be very exciting days because from the result of these two matches, we're going to pretty much get to see which countries qualify for the World Cup. It won't be as exciting, I guess, for Argentina because Argentina has been leading the table for a while. But for the other five countries in the top six, we're going to have a clear idea of who's going to advance to the World Cup, which in my opinion is going to remain these six countries. But we're also going to see who's the runner-up who qualifies for the seventh spot, which is a playoff spot. So whoever's in seventh will get to participate with an intercontinental playoff against a country from another federation. So exciting times ahead. But in this video, I wanted to focus more on Argentina's provisional list of players. So Lionel Scaloni, he submitted this list as a provisional list of the players that he wants to use in these two upcoming games. The first game will be against Venezuela, and the second game will be against Ecuador. And this was honestly a pretty solid list. Exciting in some way because we have some names that we haven't seen before or we haven't seen in a while. So I'm going to go over the list and then I'm going to give my predictions for the two games that Argentina will play in September as the last two match days for the World Cup qualifiers. So if we start with our keepers, not much has really changed with the keepers, honestly. We have three keepers and we're all used to seeing Emiliano Dibu Martinez be the main keeper. And we also have Walter Benitez and Geronimo Rulli. So we become used to seeing these two keepers, honestly, be the substitute keepers for Emi Martinez. So nothing new here with our three keepers. Then we move into the defenders. So we have Cristian Cuti Romero. Again, he's a staple in the team. So unless he's badly injured, he's always going to be called up to play for the national team. We have Nicolás Otamendi, which is also a player that has gotten frequent call-ups to the team. He's, after Messi, I would say he's the second biggest leader the team has. A lot of controversy among some fans because he's already getting old and his speed is not what it used to be. So fast players really can't get the best of him. But yeah, nothing new here. Same with Nahuel Molina, Gonzalo Montiel, our right backs. They're also going to be playing these matches. We have Leonardo Valerdi. He's played a couple matches for Argentina before, but he's one of those newer players, and by new I mean Scaloni recently started including him more in his squads. So it's good that he got included again. We have Juan Foyth, and this is an interesting one because Scaloni, the coach for Argentina, he really likes Foyth because he's very versatile, so he can play as a right back, or he can play as a center back, or he can even play as a defensive midfielder of sorts. He hasn't really seen a lot of minutes with the Argentina team, but he's always a good one to have, and the head coach seems to like him a lot. Then we have Nicolás Tagliafico, who is pretty much a massive left back for our team. He's always reliable, great leader. I was not expecting to see him out of the list. Marcos Acuña. This is an interesting one because since his move to River Plate, he hasn't been as active in the national team, but if Scaloni included him, it's because our left back options are pretty limited. And this is where we have our first quote-unquote new player, which I'll touch more about him in a sec, but Julio Soler, he's a left back. Then we move into our last defender, Facundo Medina. He's another one of those that he's gotten called up pretty often, but he hasn't really seen a lot of matches. He's played a handful of matches for Argentina, but he hasn't really been playing a lot for us. He's what I would say like a 70-75 minute late game sub. And then if we move into our midfield, Alexis McAllister is back. The last qualifier games, if I remember correctly, he was not playing because he had a small injury. We have Ezequiel Palacios. He also gets called up pretty often. And one of the new faces is Alan Varela. He's a defensive midfielder, pretty solid player. Then we have Leandro Paredes, again, pretty usual player in our team. Thiago Almada as well. Nico Paz, the youngster, young promise. It's always great to see him on the list. Very talented player. Rodrigo de Paul as well. We're used to seeing him. Giovanni Lo Celso. He's kind of one of Scaloni's favorite, in my opinion, because during his first era as a coach, he relied a lot on Lo Celso, but he's been on and off lately because of injuries and whatnot. Now, if we move to our fluid forwards, or just, I say fluid because a lot of these, and I'll touch up on it as well, but a lot of these players are very flexible. They can function as wingers or attacking midfielders. So we start with Claudio Diablito Echeverri, the little devil, if I translate that to English. He's a good person to have on the team. Young player, really talented. We have Franco Mastantuono once again, the young Real Madrid player. It's good to see him on the team. Valentin Carboni, he's played a couple matches with the Argentina team already, also a very young player. Forward. Then we move on to Giuliano Simeone. He's played a couple games for Argentina once more. And he's one of these fluid players also. He can play as a winger, but he could also play as a midfielder. He's a player with a crazy work rate. He can run for a long time. This one I'm kind of surprised of seeing Angel Correa. Yes, he had a good run with the Argentina team, but he recently moved to Tigres from Mexico. So I'm honestly kind of surprised that Scaloni called him up. Maybe he likes what he sees of him still. If we move forward, we have Julian Alvarez. We all know who he is. Incredibly talented player. Then Nicolas Gonzalez again, one of Scaloni's staples. Just because of how versatile this player is. He can literally be a winger, striker, midfielder, and he could even be a left back. That's how versatile he is. We see Lionel Messi, of course, Lautaro Martinez, and the last new face is Jose Manuel Lopez from Palmeiras. So if we go back to the new players, let's start with Julio Soler. So Julio Soler, he's a young player, 20 years old. He plays for Bournemouth in the Premier League. He started with Lanús in Argentina. He hasn't been super active with Bournemouth. He hasn't really seen a lot of minutes, but it's exciting to see another option on our left back because, quite honestly, other than Tagliafico, our options there are very limited. Then we have Alan Varela. This is a player that is always in demand with the Argentina fans. Everybody wanted to see him play for the senior national team, and I'm glad we're going to have that chance. So he plays for Porto. He's a 24-year-old defensive midfielder, started in Boca Juniors. And like Julio Soler, if he gets to play during one of these 2 match days, it'll be his first match, his first appearance with the senior national team. So really excited to see him play. After that, we have Claudio El Diablito Echeverri, 19-year-old, started playing with River Plate, joined Manchester City recently, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he just got loaned out to Bayern Leverkusen, like literally it was announced today. So he's going to be playing with them for a bit. Really talented, skilled player. I feel like he's really reliable, and I feel like he has a super bright future with the Argentina national team. And the fourth new face, Jose Manuel Lopez, which I was honestly quite surprised with this one. I've seen him play a couple games with Palmeiras, especially with the Club World Cup that we just had. And he's a striker, what I would consider a pure striker. So skillful with headers, just finishing. So he's a very complete striker. He's a 24-year-old, also came from Lanús, and it will be his first appearance if Scaloni decides to keep him in the list. Because again, this is just a provisional list for our coming 2 games. So this is actually 31 players, and historically the final list for these games, Scaloni has taken 26, 28 players. So there might be a couple names that get cut from here. And if I had to give 3 of them just to bring us to 28, I would probably say Facundo Medina would probably get cut off, either him or Soler. Even though it would suck to see Soler cut off, so that would be one. Just because they're not as crucial parts of our schema for the way we play. The other one, I would say maybe Correa will be cut off, just because I feel like he's at a point where what he provides is not something that the team would miss, in my opinion. And the last one, unfortunately, I feel like maybe Jose Manuel Lopez might get cut from the final list, just because pretty much our forward is our best. I would say our strongest. We have a good midfielder, but we have a very strong forward attacking force. So I feel with Julian Alvarez, Lautaro, Nico Gonzalez, it would be very hard for Jose Manuel Lopez to get minutes and just to get included into the structure of the team. So if I go to my predictions really quick, just for Argentina's games, and I have them here actually. So Argentina is going to play Venezuela on Thursday, September 4th. In my opinion, just thinking about the way Argentina has been playing lately and the way Venezuela has been playing lately, Venezuela right now is, I wouldn't say struggling, but they're at the edge. Bolivia is very close to taking that 7th spot, but I'm going to discuss that in another video. But based on how Argentina and Venezuela have been playing, my prediction for this game will be 3-0. Just because, number one, they're playing in El Monumental, River Plate Stadium, and for the majority of the time, Argentina, its home advantage is pretty solid. It really invigorates the players. So my prediction for this would be 3-0. The following game, which would be Argentina against Ecuador on September 9th, that one would be a harder game. In my opinion, Ecuador's cracked right now. They're just amazing. It's just such a physical, fast team, very strong team. They're second. Quick reminder: Ecuador began the qualifiers with -3 points because of some drama they had with some player pretty much having a false or erroneous birth certificate, I believe. So they started with -3 and now they're in second place. So this will be a very hard game, especially because Ecuador will have the home advantage. So in my opinion, this will finish 1-1. Argentina, they always, even if they're down 1 goal, I feel like they always give their all just to tie at least the game. So my prediction is 1-1 for this one. So with that, I just wanted to touch on one last thing with the team schema. So this is from Argentina's last game against Colombia, which was tied. I think it's mostly going to remain the same, with the big change would be, I don't think Medina is going to play. I think it's going to be Tagliafico. So Otamendi, Romero, Molina, and Tagliafico. Of course, Diego Martinez is going to be the goalie. And our midfield is going to change a little bit. De Paul will play. I think Paredes will play. And so he's one of our big absences, actually, since he got a red card. He got suspended for a couple games. So I think Enzo's going to get replaced by McAllister. And I think we're going to see Thiago Almada come down here as a fourth midfielder, and I think the front line will remain the same. Just Alvarez a little bit on the right side and Messi a little bit on the left. Either that or maybe Messi slide behind Alvarez, but I don't see that happening. So Alvarez and Messi. And Paredes might be kind of in doubt. If Paredes doesn't start, to me, he's going to move Rodrigo de Paul to the middle. And then on the left side here, we're going to see Simeone play. So that's what I think will be the starting lineup against Venezuela. So thank you for watching. And if you have any different opinions, if you have any comments, I would love to hear your predictions and your thoughts on this list. So yes, see you in the next one.